Okay, well in 1987 I was looking around blocks of land. I went up with me mum and me missus of the time, and we found this block up in Flowerdale. It was up for sale. It had a bit of a structure on it already, and Coral was about 3 weeks off from having Angela, so that's how I know the date, in 1987. And we bought it. We bought the place for about $16,000, and sort of had to sit on it for a while. And then we decided to move into the house next door, which came up for rent, and I started to build the place. We put the foundations. The foundations took a year to get built because we couldn't get anybody to do the work. And then as soon as they were built and the bricks were put around the edge, we started putting up the woodwork, which is what we see here. That woodwork there is that was the first part that went up on top of the concrete, and that was a big deal when I did that, because that meant that the place was moving along at last. And we did that with a little crane. I was living next door, and I was actually working on the house here at the same time I was down at the market selling carpets and stuff. And we progressed at a fair bit in that summertime, but I had two people working for me, Halsey and my nephew Mark. And that summertime my mum died, that's right, that was the big blow to that. And but we kept working on it, and I got the old man to come up and help me. He was sort of a bit out of it at the time, but he still come up there and help me put up the trusses, these trusses you can see. What it was built from was the old, down in Port Melbourne, there was an old wool store, and the purlins that they had to hold their timber on were my trusses. The next thing, there was a bit of a gap of a couple of years because I covered the place over, and I was too busy doing other things, so I had to just leave it. So I'd had carpet, I put carpet all over the roof, and lining boards and plastic, and I just left it for a couple of years till I come back onto the job. God only knows when that was. It seemed to be a fair time. Then Marilyn turned up on the scene, and we pushed it along a little bit further, so we got the roof built, put the roof on. And the next stage was the mud bricks, and the mud bricks, 40 tonnes of the bloody things, delivered by semi-trailer with a forklift. And that's when we started putting the mud bricks on. Then we went around the base, put the windows, the doors, and then the internals. Then the floor was already up actually, it wasn't. Design, well, it was my idea, I just got it designed the way I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted, it's just a matter of putting the basics together, and I got friend Whiskey Wilson to do the architect work on it. He tidied it up fantastic, it was really good structural architect. He simplified it. I did have a design by somebody else who was a so-called mud brick designer, but he just turned out to be a real clown and buggered the design up. So Whiskey came along and fixed it up for me really well, and I'll be eternally grateful. And the poor bugger, he never came out to see it when it was finished either. But he did a really good job, simplified the structures, got all the engineering done. Well, you put the doors on, you know, you really start to feel you got a house, and then the steps went in, when the staircase went in too, because you connect both top and bottom level, you know. It sort of is gradual, it comes on you, like it creeps on you, you know. But then eventually we, you know, when it was lock-up stage, everything was in, carpet was in, that's when you really feel it's a house. And when you can light the heater, that was a good thing too. It's the middle of winter time, we had the heater going, you know. The main bedroom was fairly big and spacious, had these beautiful big doors that are windows that I'd made, and they open inwards. We were inside the dormer windows, and you could look out down on the yard and the road down below. That was the best part. I used to love sitting up there looking out opening up my big windows and looking down below. And at times you could hear the creek running late at night, and it used to echo too. All of the valley used to echo. So it was, you know, if a car come around or a dog barked or something, you could hear it sort of echo. A beautiful Axminster carpet, the best carpet you could ever think of, was Tasmanian. Forget the name of the brand, but the Rolls Royce of carpets. Anyway, the kitchen wasn't too bad. Marilyn, she designed that, but it was sort of a pretty functional sort of a thing. We had nice bench tops, Jarrah bench tops on it, all the mod cons. Altogether, yeah, it was just a really good house to be in. You know, it was just like earthy. It was wood and earth and beautiful grains of timber and everything was nice. Yeah, the stained glass on the staircase. As we used to go down the staircase, the sun used to follow it in, and we used to get these gold, the beautiful gold come through would flow down the staircase. It was fantastic. And of course the staircase, I spent a lot of time doing that. It's the sort of place you're in the middle of the bush. It's strange. It's different to being in suburbia or anything else I've ever experienced, because when you went outside, you were just out there. You're in the middle of the forest. And at night time it was beautiful. You could hear all the birds and the wildlife, and the trees were... that place there, the trees used to sing all the time. They're always shimmering. There's always noise from the forest. That was the thing that I missed the most about, I suppose. As soon as you opened the doors, you thought, you knew you were there. You knew you were home.